Right, hey, just wanted to check in because I finished another book. Boom, Sackett's Land by Louis L'Amour. This is the first book in the Sackett series, and it's a good one. This is my first Louis L'Amour book I've ever read. I feel holding something like a book this size just feels right. I don't know why. Something about it just, this is a book. It's a small book, but it's a book. I love it. It feels good. This is a good size book. I don't know why, but anyway, little tangent aside, I finished the first Sackett's Land, which is about our protagonist, Barnabas Sackett, and he one day finds some antique Roman gold in the mud, pretty much, and takes it to an antique guy who he sells off two of the gold coins to. He still has some. He didn't take it all. He was smart. But he sold off some of his gold coins to this guy and then boogied out of there. And while he was leaving, he got in a fight with the nephew of the Earl. His name is Rupert Genister. I think Genister? Yeah, Rupert Genister. And Rupert Genister is a dickhead. He is... he's somebody that doesn't like to be embarrassed, and he was just embarrassed in front of a whole group of people by Barnabas, our main character. Barnabas was just a farmhand. He didn't have any real training, but his father was a soldier and showed him how to use a sword. So he kind of just parried and didn't even hurt the guy, just tripped him up and insulted him. But he ends up having to run out of there. Eventually does get caught and is put on this ship to the Atlantic Ocean where he's just meant to die out there. He ends up working his way on the ship and helping him out wherever he can and really acting like, oh no, this is a good thing for me. I want to be here. I'll help you guys. And eventually him and two others escape and they make their way to America. And it doesn't say where in America, but on the back it says that he's on the Carolina coast. It might say it in there somewhere, but I wasn't sure necessarily where it was if I wouldn't have read that on the back. They get to the Carolina coast and they their goal is to trade with some Indians for furs, and they're trading beads and needles and things that they don't really need but the Indians might. So they're trading that for furs, and then they want to bring those furs back to England and sell those for profit, whatever. They keep kind of deciding whether or not they're trying to decide whether or not they want to live in America throughout this book. By the end, Barnabas does say, America is the place for me. But while they're in America, they're fighting off some Indians. Sometimes they fight mostly Englishmen, mostly the guys that they escaped from. They're constantly butting heads with and on the run from. I'm going to go into some spoiler territory just because it's a little book. It's not too bad to spoil, but so Barnabas does end up going back to England with some of the people that he is friends with. And when they get there, they realize that the guy that they've been fighting with in America the whole time had left a couple days earlier and was there waiting for him with the nephew of the Earl. So they immediately land and have to go into hiding again. And the nephew of the Earl, we find out that he is wanting to kill the Earl so he can take over. At least I think he wants to take over, but he's going to kill the Earl. So we have to go find the Earl and stop it. And that's kind of like the end little bit of this book. It feels very much like an episode of a cartoon show reading this. I don't know if that's how they're all going to feel. I like that. It didn't ever feel too serious. It was really easy for me to put down and pick back up and just kind of know exactly where I was again without feeling like I was missing out or like, oh, I got to remember all of these characters that were happening. No, it's pretty simple. A simple story, a good story. Overall, I really liked it. My first Louis L'Amour book, 3 out of 5. Definitely going to continue reading them. I enjoyed the way he wrote. I liked the story enough, and like I said, it just kind of felt like I was watching a cartoon. Like it felt like I was watching a little standalone story that fits into a wider picture. That's just what it felt. I don't know if that's how it's gonna be, but that's that's what it was on this first book. But anyway, like I said, 3 out of 5. I do recommend everybody checking out some Louis L'Amour if you haven't already. I'm sure everybody has. I'm kind of late to the party on that one, but yeah, I appreciate y'all for watching, and thanks.